that I'm not that scary. This isn't really nothing scary about me. And I was trying to decide what I would like to talk to you about today. I do a lot of educating. And even on this last Friday, I had an hour-long teleconference with the doctors of the VA throughout upstate New York. For them, it was their first training on what is gender dysphoria and its treatment. Now, that's not something that you're necessarily going to be interested in. So, what did I want to talk to you about? And I think what I want to talk to you about is fear. The reason that I'm probably the first openly transgender person you've seen is because there's so much fear. There's really fear from both sides. Right now, being transgender, it's in the news. You're hearing about it quite a bit. And so this is creating fear for the general public as well. You know, a fear of change, a fear of ideas that really are different than what we were raised with. And just to give you some basics, what is being transgender? I was born with a male body, but I was also born with a female gender. And so I've been female my whole life, but have had to try to navigate that being transgender in a society, in a world that doesn't understand what that is. That is why you don't see them. The closet, and I'm sure Cassandra's talked about the closet in the past. The closet itself is fear. The closet is something, it's a secret that you're hiding behind. That is what the closet is. And being transgender is different than being gay. However, what kept me in the closet for so long, because I didn't transition the second time, I've done this twice now, and I didn't transition the second time until late in 2013. And what kept me in the closet so long was not the idea that I was transgender. I always knew I was a girl. What kept me in the closet so long was the fear of being seen as gay. That assumption, that presumption. And what instilled that in me, that deep-seated fear, was as a child, I was bullied, I was beaten up, I was ostracized, all through school. And on the playground, kids don't know what transgender is. And particularly, back in 1970, through the 70s, of course people didn't know. I didn't know. These words have just started to come out now. So everything that was being hurled against me was this assumption that I was gay. And that really created that deep-seated fear in me. And that's why you don't see transgender people. Now, even transgender people who transition, very few of them are actually out of the closet. A transgender person, by and large, will stay in their closet their entire life, even after they've transitioned. It's not uncommon for somebody to completely move away from where they lived, to try to start a different life with a clean slate, and hope that nobody ever finds out that they're transgender. And so, for all intents and purposes, they're still living with that fear. That fear comes for many reasons. Most of it centered around just not understanding. Being transgender is difficult for a lot of people anyway, because they're trying to figure out themselves. They're trying to understand what's going on with them. Even once they figure out what's going on with them, now they come to that, that reality that so many people just don't understand. And there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of negativity. So if somebody were to come out of the closet and say, yes, I am transgender, now they face maybe the loss of friends, the loss of family, They certainly face the loss of civil rights. As a transgender person, being openly transgender, I've actually lost my civil rights. There are no protections for me. And it seems odd to some people, it seems odd to a lot of people that would be the case. But it's perfectly legal if I were to seek a job and somebody say, well, I'm not going to hire you because you're transgender. That's perfectly legal. If someone were to want to transition on the job, it's perfectly legal to say, I'm going to fire you now. I rent. And so it's perfectly legal for my landlord to come to me and say, I need you to leave because you're transgender. And there's no other segment in our society that undergoes that anymore. So there's a lot of fear. And we can alleviate that fear by learning more. And I want to give you an example. If you were to take one hand and call it your physical presence, this is your body, this is what you present to the world, this is what everybody sees. This is your physical presence. If you were to call your other hand your gender, and then hold them to your eye level, it's very difficult as a cisgender person, because these two things align, to see that separation and see that difference. But for a transgender person, they don't align. And the separation is glaringly obvious. Now that separation exists in everyone. Everybody has a gender, everybody has a physical presence. It's just that when they align, we don't experience discomfort. And so treatments for transgender people, as far as even just self-expression, is a treatment for gender dysphoria. When I was dressed as a guy, it created a lot of gender dysphoria for me because it just didn't seem right. Once I allowed myself my preferred self-expression, a lot of that went away. And even medical treatments, as far as hormone replacement therapy and surgeries, these things are designed to bring the two things into alignment and then alleviate that horrible